Hello and welcome to live number 19. My name is Oren and I'm with OpenLM, and today we are going to speak about license harvesting. This is part 3, and specifically about timeouts. In the last two lives, we spoke about the ability to close idle licenses. So detecting that the user is inactive and consuming the license, and then how can we determine that the user is actually inactive, and then technically how can we implement license harvesting, and today we want to speak about setting the timeout. So when exactly do we want to harvest the license and when not? So let's start by setting the environment. Let's say we have an expensive software and we have a license pool and it's network licensing, and we have a magical capability that will detect that the user is idle and it's able to harvest the licenses, and the user, when he wants, he just clicks and it's immediately opening without losing anything. So the road is open and we can implement it, no problems at all. It's magical. Now the only question is what exactly are the parameter, or what is the criteria to close, and when, and how do we set it? So the first parameter is timeout. Timeout means how long will you need to be idle in order for us to say, okay, you are idle, you're a candidate for closure, and let's close your application, let's harvest it so other users can use the license. So that's a good question. So we always have these discussions with customers. It should be an hour, 90 minutes, 40 minutes, 20 minutes, 10 minutes. So it's a big question and a big discussion. So let's ask ourselves, how do we think about it in order to set the right timeout for our organization? So one timeout doesn't fit all. We're sure about that. So let's say we set it to 1 hour. So if you are idle for 1 hour, so for the last hour you didn't process anything, there was no activity, interactions like keyboard, mouse, and no big I/O. So it's idle. We're sure it's the magical capability we spoke about in the beginning. No mistakes. So the guy is idle for an hour, and after an hour, we harvest the license. And then another one, and then another one. So let's take, for example, an organization, and let's assume we have 10 license harvesting within the day. So that's the average. So 10 times the license was harvested, and after an hour. So what actually happened? So user was active, and then idle. At a certain point, we started to measure the time. So it was measured, and then maybe came back, move the mouse, and again, we reset the count and we count again. And so on until there was 1 hour of idle time. At this moment, we closed the software. So it's actually, we might think that there were many occurrences of the same event. you were detected idle, but let's assume it's one event. So 10 closures, one event during the day. So let's assume it's 10 events, 1 hour idle, so it was for sure idle for 60 minutes. It's 600 minutes. Okay, but that's an hour, quite long. If I change it and set it to 20 minutes. So 10 closures, 20 minutes each until I closed, and I get 200 minutes. So in total, the difference between 60 minutes to 20 minutes is 400 minutes. So that's quite a lot. It's almost the whole day. So I could earn a whole day of usage for one user if I use the 20 minutes compared to 60 minutes. That's very significant. And also take into account that our calculation was very simple, because take the hour for example. So as I said, 10 closures, these are events where the user was idle for the whole hour. But if he was idle 45 minutes, it wouldn't close, and I lost 45 minutes. So actually, this hour is worth a lot more than we calculated, but it's hard to know. We need to apply some statistics here, and makes it too complex for our short life. So, okay, so we spoke about the lengths, and I can say that I always recommended 20 minutes. So why is it? Because 20 minutes is a good time. So if I go to the kitchen to bring a cup of coffee, and maybe I just bring it 5 minutes, maybe less. But if I meet someone in the kitchen and we start to chat, it might take 10 minutes, 12 minutes. So it's still open and waiting for me. So I think 20 minutes is a decent number. So it's a good number to start with. And now we get to the second parameter. So we spoke about the timeout. Now let's speak about the usage level on the server. So thinking about the implementation, one might say, okay, let's say I have 100 licenses. And yes, someone is idle, but the consumption is very low. I didn't get even to 20%. Why should I close it? So I don't have any reason to close. It can stay idle for a week. I don't care about it because I have enough licenses. So that's a possible approach which is acceptable. The second approach might say, okay, I always close. I don't care. Maybe no one is using the licenses on the server, one user overall, and they still close. Why is it good? It's good because I actually stretch my licenses to their limit. So I'm always closing, and then I can look on the utilization chart. We might have a live about that. And I'm looking on the utilization chart, and I'm seeing that I actually don't need the number of licenses I have. I need only a third of them. So it's a huge saving in ongoing payment, in maintenance costs. So that's the best approach. Another approach is going in the middle, which is very popular always. I say, okay, I don't want to close all the time, but I can set a goal. So maybe I only started, and let's say I have 100 licenses. I say, I have the feeling that I can live with 70 licenses. So I set 70%. So only close when it goes above 70%. Then users are using, everyone is happy and it works well. And then after a period, I check, I see that, okay, maybe I will find that 70 licenses are not enough. I need to increase it. Or maybe I see 70 licenses. Actually, okay, maybe I can find that 70 licenses are completely okay. And then I can set the goal, a lower goal, 50%. Let's see where I stand. And this is like easier implementation, referring to users that might have objections and so on. But I think the second option is the best. And also, I would like to give another example. So I might not. So I might say, okay, I'm happy with the number of licenses and so on, but I just want to make sure that people won't get denials. So in that case, I can set, like, if I have 100 licenses, I can set 95%, which says the server, my system will try to keep 5 available licenses all the time. So if someone wants to log in, he will always have a license. And there always, when it goes above 95 licenses or above 95%, the system will look for the person that is idle for the longest time and will send him a shutdown signal. And I think that we completed the discussion about license harvesting timeout. So we spoke about how to configure that and what are the considerations. The first one is timeout, and the second one is the number of consumed licenses or consumption level on the license server, which we might want to take this into account. And these two parameters helps us to manage and set our license harvesting policy. Thank you very much. I wish you all a good weekend, and bye.